patiently waiting for you to
Okay, Kevin,
join us.
I am an important person, contrary to what you believe.
Important in whose eyes?
Important in the world's eyes.
Hold on, I gotta text.
Oh. Welcome to Kevin and Tenisha's Mix It Up.
Where we're gonna discuss everything from our family and friends. Whoops.
You need to...
What?
Don't sound like you're in the auditorium.
I just tried to do that. Check.
All right. Welcome to Kevin and Tenisha's Mix It Up.
Where we're gonna discuss everything from our similarities and differences,
Family and friends,
son and daughter,
home and work.
and how it all impacts our marriage, parenting, relationships, faith, and beyond.
Let's mix it up. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Mix It Up with Tenisha and Kevin.
Kevin and Tenisha.
I'll take the job. Be first in line.
Yeah. I done
Be the man
sacrificed.
of the house.
After I done sacrificed everything.
What you didn't sacrifice?
Mm,
Nothing.
please.
Cool. So today we're gonna be talking about patience.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yes.
Okay.
So these mics are very sensitive.
Okay. Go ahead. Go.
Stop being impatient.
Okay.
So today's topic is patiently waiting because
patience.
we are patiently waiting for patience. As you can tell, Tenisha is very impatient with me as a human,
No.
and I am so patient. I am just so extremely patient with everyone in this household, with all of the people in my life. I'm just so extremely patient with everyone. I could write a book.
Shame the devil.
I could write a book on patience.
Okay.
You can ask my coworkers. You can ask my mother, especially, just how patient I've been my whole life. So, if you can't tell, we call that sarcasm, because it may or may not be true.
Yeah, okay. Definitely not true, but I like how you try to make it seem like you're just this patient man.
I would like for you not to whisper.
I'm not whispering. My lips are literally on this mic.
Yeah, but you're like, I think you are just such a patient man.
I said, that's not what I said. I said, I like how you think you're such a patient man. That's what I said. Your patience have improved.
Look, don't go giving away all the content now.
I'm just saying.
We're going to start off with a little scale rating activity. So what's going to happen is I'm going to rate myself
Okay.
on a scale of 1 to patience.
Patience being like 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 100 or whatever you want your scale to be.
Okay.
My scale is 1 to patience. And you're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to patience. And then you're going to rate me on a scale of 1 to impatient. And I'm going to rate you on a scale of 1 to impatient. If we both know ourselves and have self-efficacy, both of these should line up.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you go first. On a scale of 1 to patient, how patient are you?
I would say I am a 7.
You're a 7.
7.
Like,
my patients are very circumstantial.
Your patience, like the people you work with?
Like the people I work with, how many times I've had to tell you something.
Your patience or patience?
Patience. Not like patient that I provide for, but my patients are very circumstantial.
They are very?
They're circumstantial.
Or it is very.
It's very circumstantial. Okay. See, this is working my patience.
I'm working it.
My patience is very circumstantial.
So your patience is circumstantial.
Yeah. So I would rate it a 7.
You're not quite all the way completely patient with all aspects of your life, but generally
I'm a patient person.
Okay.
What would you say is yours?
On a scale of 1 to patience, I would rate myself so close to patience.
Oh my God.
It's insane.
You can't be telling the truth right now.
I am so... Nah, I would rate myself on a good day. On a good day. It means like everything is clicking. Like not like right now. Not like a day like today.
Okay. But a day like today is majority of our days.
Listen.
So what is it?
You're not being patient with me giving this answer right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You need to calm down. You need to back up to that 7 because right now you're at about a 4.
I'm just very intrigued on what you're going to say.
You're very intrigued. You're very impatient. I would say that on a really good day, I'm a 6.
Okay.
And on a bad day,
okay,
I'm a 3. And the average of that number is left up to somebody with a different college degree than communications.
I would say you're a 5.
On just that's my average. You would say my average is a 5.
Is a 5.
Okay. So you would rate me a 5 on a scale of 1 to impatient. You would say I'm a 5.
I would say you're a 5 with the people in this household.
Mm-hmm.
And with others, you are a 6 or a 7.
With my mom,
with your mom, you're a 1.
I'm a 1.
You live at a 1.
I live at a 1, no matter how good a day I'm having.
Or how good of a day she's having.
It's no matter what. It's a 1. Impatient. I learned that from somebody else I know. So on a scale of 1 to impatient, I would say that you're a 5 as well.
No.
You might be a 7. You're like a fake 7.
A fake? Oh, you calling me fake?
So I would say you're a 5. Definitely not a 7. Your average definitely isn't a 7. If you're having a good day, you could be more patient than me. But listen, I'd say we have about the same patience or impatience level here, and we're working to figure it out together.
I like how you tried to clean that up. We're working to figure it out together. That was cute.
You're cute.
Okay. I don't agree with that, but I mean, that's what I portray.
Perception is reality.
Perception is not reality.
It's not reality.
Because it's your perception. So I think this intro was very interesting because I find that I am a very patient person. And Kevin has educated me that he is able to identify certain situations where I may present myself as being patient, but in reality, I'm really not. And I think that's something that is a learned behavior in the aspect of you knowing who to be patient with and who not to be patient with. I also feel like a lot of my patience is given to like my children. And I've learned to be more patient with my husband. And to strangers. Patience is a skill because I feel like you have to be mindful of it and you have to constantly be working on it at all times. Like, I don't even know how many times I've had conversations with you, Kevin, and I'm like, Jesus, tame my tongue. Lord, please tame my tongue. Because what I really want to say, I know I can't say it because it serves no purpose. It's fascinating because you you never master it. And you're always, I feel like I'm always working on it.
Yeah, it is. I feel like there are people in the world that master it.
Yeah.
They're called monks, and they get to practice patience 24 hours a day, every day. But
I
me,
wonder if the less stressors you have, the more patient you are.
well, then there. What do you need to be? What is there to be patient? Like in if you have no stressors, if you have no
I
hard
said
time.
less.
Yeah, but like yes, you don't have to be as patient.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you only have a couple stressors every now and then, like those are the times that patience is going to come about, or the need for patience is going to be there. But I mean, that I guess that's what other people would perceive as stressors in your life, because I would say I would think of other people I know and say, well, you have nowhere near the stressors that I have, but that's my perception, you
Yeah.
know? So,
And it's not it's not the amount of stressors, but the significancy of them.
yeah, the significance of the stressor in relation to how you think it's significant, or because I think
No,
that's
in their life, like
the
having,
level of significance they put on it.
yeah.
But yeah, patience is definitely, I agree, patience is something that is always evolving, and something that if you decide you have to make a decision. I
Mm-hmm.
think is to say, regardless if your spouse or you or your friends or whoever, your kids think you're patient or impatient, I think it's important to make a conscious decision to say, I always need to work on my patience,
Mm-hmm.
because something I realized really quickly when I became a parent, not so much when I became a husband, but as my son got older and um, he was watching me more, I realized like somebody's always watching.
Mm-hmm.
There's always there's always somebody with eyes on me, and I realized that because he was one of the most important people now in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and his eyes mattered more, but it made me think about all the other eyes
Mm.
that are on me all the time, and what are they looking at? What do they see um, when I have a stressful situation?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in a position of leadership, what do they see?
Yeah.
Um, and in regard to patience, we decided not to edit out any of the knocks on the door during this episode. Yes, hello. What do you need? You knock. Now you've opened the door. You can speak.
What do you need? Can you have some juice?
You walked up
Get some
here.
juice, Gavin. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, y'all can have
Close the
some
door.
juice. Close the door. And now you get a hug.
Okay. Thank you.
And now I get a hug. Watch out for the table there.
All right. Go ahead. Close the door. Thank you.
All right. We're not all the way there yet. And door is closed. Like I said, editing out no interruptions by the children or the dogs during this episode about patience. We're going to edit out the poor grammar by us, but no edits of the children or the dogs.
Well, mine started as soon as I said I do.
You realize, what do you mean?
I realized that I was going to have to be more patient with you as soon as I said I do.
Not as soon as,
As soon as I said I do.
no way.
Yes, Jesus, yes. Because I had to realize that there were a lot of things that I thought I expected of you, but those expectations weren't reality.
Mm-hmm.
So Like, I expected you to take the trash out. I shouldn't have to tell you to take the trash out. You should take the trash out. My dad always took the trash out. No one had to tell him to take the trash out.
Your dad always took the trash out?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he still
or
does.
a man in your house always took the trash out?
Well, my dad and then Kai when he got older.
Mhm.
My brother when he got older. So there was just these things that I was accustomed to without even thinking about it that now, we live together. And now I'm having to tell you those things where before those weren't things I ever had to think about, if that makes sense. So, yeah, mine started way before we had kids.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely realized that there was a level of patience that was expected of me, or there was a. Yes, Ava. Goodbye, Ava.
Now someone's calling me.
Gavin's calling you.
Hi, yes, Gavin, you spilled. Okay, I'm coming down.
And we're going to pause on the episode and practice our patience. So, what I definitely realized that there's like levels of impatience for each other that we were going to have to work on coming into the marriage, especially not living together and having a house together, apartment, and sharing everything and all of that, because what we established on the last episode is we came from completely different backgrounds. Our roots were completely different, and that bled over for me into things that we did around the house, and that's something that you all held in high esteem, like keeping the house in
Keeping
order,
the house clean was number
keeping the
one.
house clean. That was number one over, that it was church, and then keep the house clean. Everybody had a job to do, and you were going to do it, or you weren't going to do anything else. The caveat, the trick that was played on you though, is you wasn't doing anything else anyway. So I kind of think that's hilarious. Y'all got.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
on the other hand, for me, I didn't really, that just wasn't something that was put on us. And by us, I mean
You mean
me.
you and your dog? What are
Because I
you
was
talking
the only
about?
child. I never had to clean or anything until somebody.
Kevin never had to clean. He never had to wash his clothes. He never had to cook.
Until somebody exploded. Until like the patience ran completely out, and somebody exploded, and then I just like shoved everything in a closet and made it look presentable or threw a fit or whatever, and got my way. So I never had to. Patience was something that I really didn't. I didn't have to have a lot of patience growing up. And my parents let me get away with a lot of things that other parents don't let their kids get away with. It's that typical stereotype, I would say. I fit the only child stereotype.
You fit the mama's boy stereotype.
Yeah. So, and on the other hand, I don't think you had, and you can speak to this a little bit more. I don't think you had a choice but to be patient.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I wasn't given an option to be told more than once. I mean, twice. If I was told twice, I better not have heard you. Like, I better have not have heard you ask me to do something.
Yeah, like they didn't. There was no them being impatient, waiting on you to do something. But I'm saying, like, even your patience, like, even if you were ever frustrated or upset or things like that, it wasn't like you had the ability to really express your impatience or your want for something. Like, I want this right now.
I mean, I could express it. It's just you better be mindful in the way that you display it. There wasn't a unfiltered. That wasn't an option.
And I think that's what played into, just our one of our biggest differences in terms of impatience and learning how to be patient with one another and how to be patient together as a couple and as a team when raising kids. And it took a lot of time and it took a lot of effort just because of the idea that when I wanted something, I expressed it and over again until I got it. Even if it was just like having friends over for the weekend or going somewhere or, being out late or whatever, I was able to swing those things maybe more than you were.
Yeah. I mean, but my parents were very strict and everything served a purpose and everything had a reason. Everything had a place and it needed to be put in that place. Your house is the first example. Your children are the first example of you, and your house is the second example of you. So clean kids, clean house. Like that was just how I was raised. And you couldn't go anywhere until the house was clean. So, like you said, that was priority. Don't get me wrong, there was education as well, but that also went into that's a part of your expectations. So I don't know. It's different by far, but I think that our children need that balance because they perceive you as more of the fun parent.
Here we go.
And I am more of the strict parent, which
here we go.
I'm okay with today. Today, I am okay with that. 6 years ago, I was not okay with it.
Tenisha perceives me as the fun parent.
No, they do. I don't think you're fun. But
there may be some more roots to this. Maybe that's an episode in itself.
No, but I think but that showed me how to be patient and how I develop a relationship with my kids. Like I will have my time and, my time has gradually came where before, this, I struggled with Gavin because I didn't like toys. Like I didn't like to play with toys. So that took a huge amount of patience with me because I didn't feel like they served a purpose. Where you educated me on how important it is for kids to be able to play and how it allows them to use their imagination and how it allows them to be creative and all of these things that I never thought about because, we played with children. We didn't play with adults. So, that was when you told me about that, it presented a new perspective that I never had before. So, I don't know. It's interesting how, you may have been raised that way, the way you were and the way I am, but your patience allowed me to understand the importance of being patient with my child, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's I think that's kind of where what I was getting at is like everything about impatience and patience for you, or like you were patiently waiting on me, right, to get in line with the things that you had down with cleaning, cooking, all of that good stuff. Yes, child. No, you just gonna knock it now, not one nothing. Where the stuff that it was all it was like the typical, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like the typical dad responsibilities that you saw your dad, exhibit growing up is like, I'm waiting for you to get there. And vice versa for me, it was like the stuff that I saw my mom, um, that things that I saw my mom constantly doing.
You were
It's like,
waiting
I'm
for
waiting for
me.
you to get there in
Mm-hmm.
terms of playing, like always playing with me, interacting with me, going out, doing things, all of that. So here we are in this mode of,
When you gonna show up?
when are you going to show up in this area?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was really that one of those big first steps of just, learning that patience is like, we gotta start figuring this out, and it might take a while. We might need to be patient with how long this takes.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that's also a thing. I think that was also the hardest part for me because it was a sense of inadequacy. Um, like why is this so hard for me? It's so simple but yet so hard. Um, but I wasn't being patient with myself to understand that this is something I've never done before.
Hmm.
Um, like I never played with dolls. I braided their hair. Like
Mm-hmm.
I never. I mean, we played, but we played with other kids. We never played with adults. So I don't even know what this even looks like.
Right.
Um, and it took some time.
Yeah. And as an only child, I think my mom, she would rather entertain me growing up,
Mm-hmm.
than wash the dishes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that can get done later.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying either situation is right or wrong.
It's
It
just
is just
different.
parenting. Like,
Yeah.
you decide how you parent. You decide what's important to you, and like, nobody can tell you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
They can disagree and do things their own way, but it. I think it's just another one of those examples of, it's just so dynamic. Our relationship's so dynamic that it seems like in all aspects of life, we're bringing different
Yeah.
things to the table. We
Yeah.
bring such different life experience, such different, just experience in general growing up, to the table, and how does that impact the relationship? So
Yeah. Like I know you're patiently waiting for me to stop yelling for the kids' names. I know that annoys you to no end. But that is like one thing that I just cannot get I can't stop doing.
mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. That's just
Why? Because that's all your parents
that's all
did.
my parents ever did. So that's
Just yell for y'all.
yeah, like it's crazy. And I know
It's
that.
so
And I
annoying.
know it's so annoying. It's wild.
Like,
Like
you would
I see
rather,
your skin crawl and I just feel so bad. But
because you would rather yell their names 26 times instead of just,
it's 4. 4 is my limit.
like, the kids wear headphones now. Like,
One child wears headphones.
yeah, and one
And
child doesn't listen, so she might as
4
well have headphones on.
okay, but 4 is my limit. At least I
Four,
have a
no,
limit.
4 is your limit until I get up and go get them. It's
That's
not like at 4 you get up and go get somebody.
that's your choice. 4 is my limit.
Oh, you just forget about it after 4. You
No,
forget about whatever you need.
no, I just call his iPad or
Yeah,
go get him.
that to me has nothing to do with patience. That has to do with laziness.
Oh, you calling me
For
lazy?
sure.
I'm not lazy. My feet just be hurting. So, where do you feel like you exhibit the most patience? I have my own theory.
Am I supposed to ask you about your theory, or can you just keep it to yourself?
I am going to keep it to myself.
I mean, I think it's important, obviously, to be patient with everyone, but to me, it's easier to be patient and to tolerate other people, and to be slow to anger and all that with people who you aren't as connected to, or with people that you might not be there tomorrow. You're not gonna treat somebody well. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be way more patient with the waiter at Roosters than I might be with my own daughter sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that that's right. I am constantly working on my patience, and out of all things that we've had, our marriage, our dogs, our son, our daughter, nothing has taught me more patience than my daughter, because she has a different level of I want it and I want it now. She reminds me of, what was the girl's name on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory that turned into the blueberry?
I don't know.
What was her name?
I don't know.
We gotta find that. I know somebody. I know you're listening, and you already know it because you're so cool and you remember Willy Wonka. Violet, of course.
Violet.
She reminds me of Violet. I want it and I want it now.
Yeah, and when she does that, it doesn't bother me, but it bothers you.
And I think that goes back to just what was exhibited for me as a kid. Is like, my mom, when I was impatient, she tended to me. You know what I'm saying? When I needed something, she came. She figured out how to, fulfill the need. So she's taught me more about patience than anybody. And then just all together, like right now, if we had the video camera, you would see my daughter playing with a baseball bat in the room after being told multiple times not to come in here. But what she has been put on this earth to do is make me a more patient man. So I am learning. I'm just letting her be right now, because everything in me wants to be my dad and tell her to get out. And why can't she listen?
Yeah.
But here we are. Look at the patience that I am exhibiting.
I'm proud
Look
of
at
you.
I'm at an 8. I'm at an 8 right now. Can't be at a 10 because we're obviously talking about it and it bothers me. Not only she brought both dogs in here, but listen, patience is a virtue.
It is.
I don't know what a virtue is, but patience is a virtue.
Okay.
What about you? What would you say?
I would say that I exhibit patience with my children and with you the most. And that's just because I'm with you guys the most, and because the family requires so much redirection. So I have to constantly be mindful and constantly try to watch my facial expressions, try to
Impossible.
watch. I said try.
I'm saying it ain't working.
Don't disregard my efforts. And my tone and my deliverance. More with Gavin than with Ava. Like, Ava doesn't really care. Not that I, come at her crazy, but Gavin is very sensitive. I can use a different dialect and he's already defensive, or if I tell him to go brush his teeth in a different tone, he's wondering what he did wrong. So I have to be very mindful in the way that I talk to him, and that takes a lot of patience, because I'm not always in that mindset.
I just really think it's one of the hardest things, just period. Like, even if it's just you and your spouse, to come home after a good day is easy, but most days for most
Aren't
people
good
just
good
don't
days.
qualify as like good days when you're working, when you're doing a job, working with other people. You're exhibiting your patience all day long.
If you're a manager or in leadership or working with like people, if you're not in IT,
Well, yeah, like if you're
like
not just working for yourself all day, like if
yeah.
you have to work with people, you're constant. No matter what, you're constantly exhibiting some sort of patience,
Yeah.
because there's always little crises, all the time. So you're
Mm-hmm.
figuring out your patience is all used up.
To
So
manage others.
so you
Yeah.
get home and it's like dad. Like, I listen, we
Mm-hmm.
just walked in the door. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get your snack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get your juice.
Mm-hmm.
Chill out. Like,
Yeah.
give me some time to just make it. You're
Or
so
what's for dinner.
yeah, what's for dinner? We haven't even got out of the car yet.
The worst
Like,
is when a grown man asks you what's for dinner.
yeah, who
I'm
is
like,
that?
who you asking?
I don't know. I mean, it should be ready
It should be.
by the time I walk in.
Hmm.
But you
Better say it again.
talk about impatience.
Hmm.
Not only I think is it easier to be impatient with the people you love the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Also easier to be short with them.
it's harder. It's harder to be patient.
Yeah.
So they butt heads. Like no matter how much you try, no matter how much you want to be patient with your kids, with your spouse, with yourself,
with your mom.
yeah, after long days and after you've used up all your patience, you have to try even harder, even harder. It's always something that you have to be mindful about. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned is like how to just take a breath and even express yourself. Like, I need a minute. The way I express myself is I have to go to the bathroom. That's the only spot in the house.
At least you get that. I don't even get that no more.
Yeah, because your life, because you didn't close doors as a kid. Y'all never closed bathroom doors. You had community bathrooms at home.
I know.
So you went ahead and brought that in the house. I find the smallest bathroom and the bathroom furthest away from people. If we had a toilet in our basement, I would use that one all the time.
So what would 3 maybe suggestions or tools would you give to someone who wants to um either learn how to be more patient or practice patience more, or even just be like mindful? Like, what are some like warning signs that you would say that you've identified with yourself?
Well, I think for me, you're the counselor here, so I don't have all the beautiful words and tools
You don't need them.
to say exactly, or all the mindfulness techniques. I don't practice those, maybe not as much as I should, but that's a different story for a different day because can't do yoga or anything like that around here. Not if you want your mindfulness, not if you want to be mindful of yourself, or your backhand. I'm gonna edit that out, maybe.
Please.
The biggest thing for me was recognizing where I fell short and tracing that back to what is the root of why I'm so impatient in this situation. And it was saying also, like, who are the people that who are the people in my life that I can't stand how impatient they are?
Mm-hmm.
And who are the people that are amazingly patient?
Yeah.
How do I take out the characteristics of those people that I can't stand? Not as people, but just their patience level. How do I take those characteristics out, and how do I model that of the people that I think just exhibit an extreme amount of patience, and that it helps me because my dad is somebody that, though there wasn't a lot of times that he was it wasn't about me. Like his impatience often didn't come across towards me, but every day, almost every minute of every hour towards my mom. And she was like the person that I loved the most growing up. So it felt like it felt like it was about me. But I saw impatience every day, and there are definitely times that I see, you grow up with somebody, you're with somebody, you live with somebody for 18 years, you're going to see them in you. And so I definitely see like, well, that's my dad right now coming out. That's a behavior that I learned from him unintentionally. The way, like the way that somebody could, just when I get to the breaking point, I know like when I snap and get up real fast or whatever, like that's my dad. And I have to remind myself, you're doing the thing that you never liked growing up. You're modeling the behavior that you never want to model. So that helps me.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you have any specific tools that you use?
I like to hang out in my car.
Yeah. We'll all get home. We'll all arrive home in one car. And Tenisha will just be sitting there.
I do. I just like to sit there and just prepare myself before I walk into the door. I don't know where I got it from, but it helps me. I like to just sit in my car for maybe not even long, like 3 to 5 minutes, and then get out and just do the next phase. I also like to, whenever I'm feeling like short with people or very frustrated or feel annoyed, but I'm not quite angry at them yet, but I can see I'm 2 steps from that. I tend to either talk to you about it or I talk to my dad about it to make sure my mindset is still rational, and that I'm not, being either irrational or inconsiderate. And I also like to just take time and do something that I like to do, which isn't often, but
well, that can be hard.
Yeah.
Family, kids, especially in the times that we're in right now, the things that we discussed aren't mindfulness techniques. Like that, those, go look up mindfulness techniques. Go look up that, try all of those. If
they're very helpful. We're not in a space where those type of things are able to be implemented in our household yet.
Effectively.
Yeah,
we
Gavin. Yeah. Gavin can do it. Gavin does it, actually.
Yeah, he hasn't walked in the room but once. Now,
yeah.
Ava's back again.
Gavin likes to lay in his bed before he starts his day. Gavin's very in tune to what he needs, which is very beneficial for him, and it's helpful for us because we're able to help him navigate his day, and we know when his days aren't, when he's not having a good day or when he hasn't been doing something that he should be doing because he gets sick, or he gets a headache. So it's very helpful for him to be able to practice those mindfulness techniques. Hopefully Ava will get there one day.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll follow the line at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, those are the things that I like to do. I also like to talk to someone that makes me laugh. So
So me?
So like my dad.
Yeah, you don't laugh at me, even though I'm the funniest person I know.
So like my dad, or I like to watch like something funny on like YouTube or TikTok or something, just to allow my mind to have empty space. Not like empty space, but like not have to think about something.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what sports does for a lot of people. That's what sports did for me.
Or like watch Gavin do his magic. That's the new thing. That's kind of funny.
That just provides me with less patience. All right, I've seen this trick only 47 times in the last 2 days.
So yeah, I mean, those are just a few things that I like to do.
And I think it, to wrap up, it's just good to. There is our daughter. Go ahead and take your Netflix show. Yeah, go ahead. You've stolen my phone.
Yeah, Ava likes to steal our phones and our iPads. So the chargers. So
the charger. She's got 3 of my chargers in her room. Close the door.
So she is our patience.
And that's just. I think it's important to just take inventory of where you're at along the way, because what I know now is I'm just so much more patient in all aspects of my life than I was, 2 years ago, than I was 5 years ago.
I pray for patience too. I pray for it because it's something that I know that I need. Because being angry and being stressed out and being irate isn't going to do anything but cause me to affect my health, affect my mind, make me miserable to be around. So that's also one of the things that I do is pray for patience. All right. So hopefully you guys got something from this episode. As you can see, patience is something that we are constantly working on and constantly trying to develop. I think that as we grow older, we also understand the significance that patience has on situations and on cultivating relationships and creating realistic expectations of ourselves and of others. So hopefully you were able to take something away from this episode. I challenge you guys to identify 3 areas where you want to increase your patience or work on, and create an action plan to make that happen.
Sweet. Tanisha's that's gonna be the thing at the end of all the episodes. Yeah. Tanisha's action plan.
I just like
Tanisha's challenge and action plan this week.
And I do it too, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thanks always for listening. We really appreciate everybody who listens and who interacts with us on social media and all that good stuff.
Thank you so much.
This is definitely something that we enjoy doing, and just happy that others are enjoying it as well.
Yeah.
If you feel so compelled, feel free to subscribe, rate it, comment, share it with a friend, send a text message to somebody.
Send some love.
Check this out. That would be pretty sweet. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to Mix It Up with Kevin and Tanisha. Make sure you listen, like, and subscribe. Follow us on IG at Kevin and Tanisha. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you for mixing up with my mom and dad.